All right, what's up, YouTube? I'm back. Saturday, March 1st. Should be playing at the racetrack, but I didn't finish anything, so that's how it always goes. Nothing runs and drives. I'm switching the drag. I'm adding turbos to the dragster. I have a new converter for it and stuff. I really want to go top dragster racing with it. So now that I feel a little bit comfortable in the car, kind of like ready to go faster, obviously, because it's just a dragster, it should go really fast because it's basically a pipe rack with a motor in it. But, yeah, I want to do some play with that. I got a hot Dominator for it and blah, blah, blah. So, but it should go fast. It should be cool. So anyway, so I'm here on Saturday finishing up putting stuff in boxes that I didn't finish yesterday. And Mike was here working on circle track cars. And then I did at least put one little project together on the Patina car. And so I figured I would just show you what I did here. Flip this around. So we did the steering wheel thing. So just got the regular Grant wheel, right? These are some extensions that I made a while back. The thing is billet, looks cool, it's machined. I polished the tube when before I welded them, and then I had them anodized. I mean, they look pretty cool, but I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I made this this is that Grant wheel adapter. This thing goes on a factory steering column. And so this was what was on the blue car. So we put a factory steering column or like a GM steering column back in the car because it's really nice to have the brake light turn signal 7-pin connector that connects to a regular harness. So that guy goes in there. Well, the column is, and I didn't want the column protruding way inside the car. So I went ahead and mounted the column in a more typical position, but the seat's way back in the car. So I had to adapt. This thing is built for a strange... That's not going to come out, of course. This thing was built for a strange deal, and so it's got a different size register that this does. So I got the register size there, matched it to there, bolt pattern to there, and now this whole piece extends my steering wheel out, and now I can reach good. And for getting in and out of the car, you get to take all this off, right? So you got, a solid 8 inches of junk that you can reach. Makes the car comfortable to drive, but this junk all comes off there and makes it easy to, get in and out of the car. So that whole deal is like, why have, in the event of an emergency, why have more stuff that you got to avoid? So that's kind of the thought with that. Got parts for right there's the parts for the window net. I ordered that from Stroud. Their window net, their custom window net service is like insanely fast, insanely accurate, and insanely affordable. So shout out to Stroud for their window net service. It's really good. So I figure I would flip this thing around. Let's just do a little update on all the stuff in the shop. And yeah, I'm gonna maybe try to just do this weekly video update because we're always working on something new and we're always doing something different. So what the heck? Maybe there's something we could show you or something to be learned. Or you could just, whatever. So, okay, I'm gonna flip this thing around and let's check this car out. All right, so looking at this thing from the side, we scored these $100 China headers. I don't even know what you call that. That's like a tuba balooza or something. I don't know, whatever it fits. It works. So I switched to, we just put the stock coils back on this thing. It had smart coils on it. I put the smart coils on my dragster because I put turbos on my dragster. I want to try that top dragster thing. Even if I suck at it, I still really want a 200 mile an hour, 6-second time slip. So my 540 and some Reed units, some 75 millimeter Reed or 80 millimeter Reed units. I can't remember what they are. They have V-band turbine housing, so they're awesome. So he hooked me up with those units a couple years ago, and yeah, I finally put them on something. So got the pipes all hooked up, got them all welded, integrated this cool little mount right here, and the dash tin is just welded into it. We already got our feed lines and stuff like that. That's all dialed in. Got some tie down hooks this time. Brake lines are back on there. We snuck the tranny cooler in right there. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I guess we're gonna find out. See, refurbished the wastegates. You can see that this has got some dentage going on, and we got one more fitting to extract, but whatever, who cares? That's all good. We got some Exhaust pipes going on right here. Should blow the dust around. Should look awesome. Yeah, so that's all going on there. Got the Wavy Unlimited Products bumper on it. It's decent. Like, I don't know, I think it was 200 something bucks, and it has a valence in it, and it fits on the car, and it works, and it has Zeus buttons. It's cool. So could it be nicer? Probably, but I'm not gonna complain because it was not that expensive. It's not like I bought like a $8,000 Ultra Carbon one or something, right? 400 bucks or whatever it is. So see, this was the turbo that got super duper smashed. This was the one that was on this side. The other one is the one that was on the other side. So we're just keeping it real. You can see that the wastegate has some road rash on it, but it didn't, it's not, took them apart and everything is still good. So we're gonna run it. It's gonna be great. So we refurbished all the stuff that we could. So you could see that offset in that mid plate or that motor plate. That was like what I was talking about. We were going to do that whole deal. We could put a big block in it, or we could put this in it. You know, lower control arms. Everything's looking nice. Got some brakes now. Got struts, lower control arms. So here you can see this. This is how we split the brakes up. So this is just going to have an adapter fitting with a pressure sensor, and an adapter fitting with a pressure sensor. So I have front and rear. Rear brake lines go right there. Yeah, so that's kind of that, right? So maybe go up the rest of the way, check the rest of the bottom out, and then I think that's a pretty good update for this thing. It's moved right along. I would expect that we're driving it this month. Like, I don't see how we're not. Got the badass Mike's unit in there with a 210, 140 gear ratio. The gear vendor nestled in there. This is a pain in the ass. This really didn't work out as good as I had hoped. You basically either need a rack to get this transmission out, or if it was just the transmission, it would fall out. But with the gear vendor on it, it will not. Coming out in one piece is really hard. So you basically got to split the gear vendor off the back of it to get the damn thing out. But I guess worse things have happened, so it is what it is. Once we actually got this thing sitting on the ground, we actually had to move it one bolt hole because it was too low, but that's all good. Got some, I think this is all done when we saw it last time, but got brake lines on it. So we should be bleeding brakes on Monday because it's still on the rack, so might as well get that done. Got the shocks. So this is a 9-inch travel Viking 3-way adjustable Berserker. I don't know if I would have done the 3-way again, but whatever, I'll cue you guys in on what I find with it, I guess. But that's a 9-inch travel shock, and there's nothing, you actually have to push the suspension up slightly to put that on. And when it sits on the ground, it's about right here. So the shock goes through the hole in the floor, but that's how much travel this rear suspension has. So I think it's going to, well, yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, look how far forward that is in the slider slot, and it goes all the way back to there. So that's a lot of movement. Got the parachute stuff all hooked up. Made this unit goes in and connects into the chassis back here, and it's 1 3/4, so this is nice and thick. We built this with the idea of putting a little trailer on it, so it's pretty thick, so we'll have to build some kind of deal there for once we actually do some drag and drive with it. But yeah, there you go. I think that's a pretty good update. And yeah, so okay, let's switch to the next spot and keep on reviewing. All right, so Patina car update. We've made some good movement here. Need to put this cap on. We put this all together and then made this cool little mount for Merzier water pump deal. It's in dash 12 fitting right there, but there's no return. We totally did not put a return line on it. So of course that has to come apart again, but whatever, add a fitting there. Got it all painted inside of there. This is the whole parachute assembly from the blue card. Still fits great. What else do we got? We did one of these Aeromotive, the triple thread or whatever the hell it is. But I figured this is like keeping in the motif of true street car kind of thing, that we got enough fuel system to cover I don't know, 12, 1300 horsepower, whatever the hell that thing is rated for. I know it's rated for more than that, but let's just assume that it's, all the way in the back, blah, 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 right? It's super cool. The return goes back inside of that sock. You got that whole sock assembly in there, holding the fuel around it. So I think from a drivability standpoint and all of those things, I think it's going to be pretty good. So I'll definitely report back and let you guys know in the end how that all goes down. But we got fittings. We're ready to start plumbing there. Got the pump all installed. I've built a new cap for this because this doesn't look as cool. We got to put Zeus buttons on there. Inside of the car is all hot rod black. Got that all squared away. Not because I want it to be really nice, but because I don't want it to be rusty. Got the 650 cert chassis tag on there. Got the steering column in, the pedals all dialed in. Got my Motion Raceworks parachute handle unit right there. Got the drive shaft ordered. It's only 35 inches center to center. It's a little guy. Boys got the shifter installed. Like, there's a lot done going on there. Let's see here. The goodness. So we got, these came from the blue car. We just stole those from it, put it on there. Boys got the charge pipe all done. Got some hoses done. Actually, they were just already done because we already had them, right? My boy Reed got my turbos all tuned back up, so these things are fresh, ready to rock and roll. Got we refurbished the wastegates, just got a couple of pieces for those, got those things dialed in. All together, all this stuff is in the car, and really like kind of the next hurdle is some wiring. Mike got brake lines all done, so it's brake lined up, brake hosed up. We got I'm gonna do this dual master cylinder thing. I think I might even it's a little dark in there, but it's got a balance bar in it. So I'm gonna play with that. I've got it broke out right here to make it so we can put 2 sensors, right? So front brakes right there, rear brakes right there. So that way we can do 2 pressure sensors in it and actually look at that and then move the brake bias and then play with this thing and then make sure we don't duplicate our problems from last time around. So hopefully no skidding. This car won't show it as bad because it's pretty ugly already, but I mean, I think altogether the patina is pretty good. Got the front bumper on there. I could tell you for sure everybody's gonna see Jesse dancing around in a Tuggy because this thing is going to make it to LS Fest. So it's happening. We found the stock windows for this car, so we're gonna put the stock glass back in, the quarter windows. You could see, or I said last time that they're still in there, right? I even rolled that window up, and then the wing window still moved, so we're there. This thing is a work of art, if you really want to ask me my opinion. So. Or the words of David Freiberger, mint. Yeah, and the words of David Freiberger, it's mint. So. Hopefully this thing will rip it will certainly should be capable of ripping some 8-second passes, even with this kind of just whatever 6-liter. So, maybe we were talking about, we're trying to figure out if we're going to build a badass LS or switch this thing to big block in next year. I don't know. We have to make it till next year, not crashing it first too. So there's always that. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, that's that. So then in other news, I finally got my hands on a Gen 1 Camaro. So the primary focus for this hot rod is we're going to do a cage, 25.3 deal. I'm going to do the 850 cert. I'm going to do a 25.3. We're going to make sure it fits with mini tubs. It's going to go behind the dash the best it can, because remember that these things are really shallow. So go behind the dash and then tubes through the firewall out to here. It already has Smith Racecraft front end on it. So yeah, look for that. That's coming in the future. And then last but not least, we actually made some progress So we're building this OBS truck. So I went ahead and just kept the tail section of the frame. And so like I've alluded on a couple of the videos and a couple of comments, or maybe just comments on videos, whatever it is, that I was gonna make a whole suspension kit for it. So I've already done slider mount brackets. I've already done the adjustable front pocket. The springs fit on there. And then I ordered a Twisted Metal Works because I know that Raul guy, and he uses my anti-roll bars and stuff. So I figured, what the heck, man, we should use his parts. So what's cool is he's kind of got this thing already set up. You can see the hole right there for a shock is what I assume, a shock cross member. If you look at some pictures, that kind of seems what people use it for. So used his underbed C-notch. It fits pretty good. Like, I have no complaints. It installed easy. Made sure that we got the axle center line kind of where we needed to go. And yeah, so this thing is, we've got some good progress on that. I've got got housing width sorted out. It's not, obviously it's not 100% done, but we are making our way through it. This is all blue car stuff left over from tearing it apart at my brother's house. You can always tell that it's blue car stuff when you see stuff like that. That's a sad Brown and Miller fitting in it. So whatever though, that's life. So yeah, okay. So that's the update for the week. I'm gonna, I guess, try to do this once a week. Maybe that'll be cool. I can get some suggestions, I don't know, see what happens. So yeah, that's that. So glad you tuned in. I'll maybe this Patina car will be running in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully do a burnout video. That's probably most important, right? So burnout videos and then cruising this thing around. So I already have the tune-up for this motor. So I know that right out of the gate, this thing should go 590s at 118 at Verona. So unload it and go, right? That's always the plan. See if that actually happens. Probably not, but hey, you know, whatever. So if you don't already follow me, go ahead and subscribe. If not, whatever. I'll catch you guys next time. Okay, so I actually got one other super cool thing to add to this video. It's not as much of an update. I guess it is an update because I probably haven't shown anybody yet. But so we make obviously lots of leaf spring suspension parts, but also like make 4-link brackets and 4-link housings and chassis side brackets and all that good stuff. So I really want to go to PRI next year, and so I've been working on this little display stand. It's got wheels on it and stuff. Has these cool billet clevis brackets that we make. So that bolts into this. So I machined this pillar that welds into the chassis right there. And then it makes it so you could swap your 4-link brackets. Right, so you could, I know there's a lot of craze, lots of guys doing that shorter upper arm. Well, instead of having that adaptable thing that goes in here to make that shorter arm, I could just change the housing bracket. So we designed this bracket for the Corvette. And basically what we were trying to do is I could make this bracket longer and easily shorten the bars 1 inch, and I can make this bracket shorter and I could easily lengthen the bars 1 inch. So I built into the adjustment with these pillars. So having this removable pillar, or having this pillar welded into the chassis, and having these removable 4-link brackets, we could change the length of the 4-link without changing a lot of stuff. And so we could kind of see, hey, we're gonna run this instant center with this length upper and lower control arm, right? So we could kind of play with some things. We ended up getting the car, I think the lower control arm's like 22.5 or something like that, center to center. And it's been a best of 388 or something like that. So I would say it works pretty good. So all this geometry is based off of what we learned and what we did for the Corvette. So the housing bracket that's in their car is a Mark Williams modular one, but the hole patterns, you can achieve that with this housing bracket hole patterns. I'm going to put a set of coilovers on here, put my shock mounts on there, connect that to there. You can see it's all been powder coated. We're gonna get this frame powder coated. So this section right here, we manufacture this piece. Basically, this is that bar that would intersect, it'd be like your chassis, your back shoulder bar. This intersects in the main hoop. This is the #1 cross member in the chassis. This section from here to here, we build all the same now in all of the cars that we build. So the 4-link bars are the same, the 4-link brackets go in the same place, the wishbone's the same length. The shock position, so the shocks mount on this vertical right here, all that stuff's the same. This particular housing is set up to have the anti-roll bar mounted in these two positions. I have the anti-roll bar for it. It's just a function of putting this thing together. So the other thing I was going to do with this whole display is I was going to put all kinds of leaf spring parts around the bottom. I was going to build all 3 style anti-roll bars that we build, put all that in there, and then take this thing with me to the racetrack so I can wheel it out, or I just leave it right here where it'll rot and no one will ever see it, and that is probably actually what will happen, but hopefully not. So maybe this thing will make it to PRI after all. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, this thing's pretty slick. This is a real housing. Like, it didn't even make a display one. It's a real one, so it's really, really nice. Super nice, super dusty. It's got the cool billet guy that goes down there and supports it. So yeah, maybe I'll actually try to finish this thing one of these days. It's even got like bling baller wheels on it. What? Sick. Okay, so let's keep on moseying about and make a YouTube video, huh? So